Green Knight, directed by David Lowery. King Arthur's headstrong nephew embarks on a daring quest to confront the Green Knight, a mysterious giant who appears at Camelot. Risking his head, he sets off on an epic adventure to prove himself before his family and the court. This movie was originally supposed to come out in 2020, and then the virus happened, the pandemic, and everything got postponed. And now it's finally here, and it did not disappoint. This is one of the most visually stunning films that I've seen in the last couple years. A24 is one of the best movie studios working today because they make movies that are so out of the box. By out of the box, I mean it's not like Transformers 25 or F9, and don't get me wrong, I love those movies, but to be honest, I prefer movies like this because they are a once-in-a-lifetime experience, especially seeing it in the theaters. Please do not wait for this to go out on streaming. Experience this movie the way it needs to be seen, especially if you are a cinephile, if you love movies, and if you love camera work. This stuff is amazing. This movie is stacked with some pretty good actors. You got Alicia Vikander, Dave Patel, and Joel Edgerton, which I was so happy to see. So when it goes to the acting, it's awesome. Everybody gives it their all. With a movie like this, with a studio like A24, they never really disappoint when it comes to performances, so I didn't really find it disheartening when I saw the trailers. Oh no, these performances are probably going to be mediocre. No, I knew they were going to go all in with these characters that they were portraying from this Arthurian legend. Speaking of Arthurian legend, this movie has such a grand scope for this story. It is just so big and so epic in every conceivable way. From the opening scene, you are in for a ride. And it's either going to be a ride that you're either going to go all in with, or you're just going to leave halfway, because this movie is not your average Joe film. This is not an action film. This is more than just your standard film. This is so much more depth, so much more meaning behind it. It has to do with honor, nobility, strength, courage, all of those themes, and it does so in a fashionable way with stunning cinematography, great performances, an amazing score that I thoroughly love from beginning to end. But this doesn't have those really epic fight sequences that happen every 10 or 20 minutes that you get in a film. And some people will find that kind of underwhelming. And I honestly understand. When you look at the trailer, it kind of gives you this atmospheric, which it does have this atmospheric shift of fantasy world epic, but also a little bit of action here and there. Please do not think it's going to be one of those movies. Do not go into this movie thinking it's going to be action heavy. It's not. It's better. And that's just personally my opinion. I had such a good time with this movie. Like I said, when it came to the performances, when it came to the scope of this world, and to pause on that, the scope is so big in this, but it's also very personal at the same time. Going through this journey with Dave Patel's character, you just get this very big, intricate world, but also you get to spend time with this character. You get to kind of know his weaknesses and his shortcomings. My one nitpick with this film is that I felt like some of the sequences could have been shortened down a little bit. And yes, this movie was only 2 hours and 5 minutes, and it could have been a little bit longer, honestly. There were certain sequences that I wasn't necessarily a fan of, and I felt like they could have brought it down and easily would have made this movie an hour and 50 minutes. With that being said, The Green Knight is an epic fantasy tale that will be remembered, honestly, for years to come. This is a movie that people are going to rewatch, cinephiles that are going to rewatch this film and look at things from a different perspective. There are things that obviously that I wish I could pause, but I'm at a theater. I can't pause at a certain sequence and look up the information right then and there. I have to absorb it in the theater. So this is definitely a movie that I'm going to go back and rewatch, especially when I'm able to own it in 4K Blu-ray. But if you like deep, thoughtful films, if you love big giants randomly showing up in your movies with talking foxes and weird spells happening, Arthurian legends, weird green giant dudes, this movie is gonna be for you. So I'm going to give The Green Knight a 9.5 out of 10. Well, thank you guys so much for watching my review. It really means a lot. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and also don't forget to be blessed.